Hey guys, Buddha here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. The map will be Metalopolis again. Unfortunately, I just download replays from a replay site that are well rated, and apparently they all are on Metalopolis. This map, of course, a very old map, been here since the beta, hasn't really had any real modifications except some tournaments like to put a supply depot down here just to prevent any cannon rush. Of course, in a TVZ, we will not be seeing any of that. Our two players here are EmpireKas, a Ukrainian player who placed third in the TSL3 lately, and his opponent will be the Zerg Morrow. Morrow, very well-known player, been very active on the StarCraft 2 scene. This is a semi-final from the DailyMotion Cup, as you can see right here. So our players have spawned on Metalopolis on close air positions. You can see in Morrow's Overlord making his way to EmpireKas' base, decides to reveal his Overlord, will be able to scout the front door here. So no need to send a drone over. Of course, this tells EmpireKas what position Morrow has spawned right away. So we see very standard openings right now. Haven't seen anything too tricky. We noticed that Morrow actually is going for 15 drones before putting down a hatchery, so very economy based play here. He is going for a very long macro game, or at least any kind of 2-base play. You can see the Overlord making his way back, spawning for that gas. He does know that it is coming, and only one barracks in the front doesn't indicate any bunker rush of any sort. Now the orbital command should start for EmpireKas. There it goes, and the Overlord will safely make his way back to the edge of the building here. EmpireKas sending his first scouting SCV over, will spot that expansion. We will see if he decides to put a bunker down, but if he does, it will not be to do any pressure. It will mostly just be to force Morrow to pull out drones. So no real damage here will be done if he decides to. It doesn't look like he is. Now spawning pool going down for Morrow. He is 18 on Inteen already and not getting any gas yet, so he really wants that economy going fast. There goes the first gas, probably for early speed and then eventually a lair or even some banelings. Two marines making their way over to the expansion. Of course, no lings out, just not even one pair making yet. If you look at that production tab, two queens coming out. They will be able, these two queens, to deal with those marines, but Morrow might have to pull some drones here. Two spine crawlers going down to deal with that. That Overlord, not good if it gets shot down. He will be supply block if that does happen. Morrow pulling some drones. The marines in a great little hole here, great position. He will be able to take out two drones. That is actually quite a lot of damage here. I feel like Morrow could have just made 4 lings instead of these spine crawlers and been fine with this. The bunker did go up, but it will be soon salvaged as these two queens will start hacking away. That bunker is salvaged, returning 75% of the minerals now since the last patch. These two spine crawlers have finished, so Morrow decided to let them finish so he doesn't have to build any lings. You can see ling speed here coming up even though there are no lings on the map. That Overlord still in position to scout whenever he needs to. Now two Hellions coming from Kas, building from that reactored factory and a fast expansion here, but with these two spine crawlers very well placed and that queen blocking the ramp, I do not see these Hellions doing any kind of damage. They will be able to pick out maybe one drone if they are very lucky, but they see those two spine crawlers and turn away to rejoin the two other ones. We will most likely be seeing a starport here. No, he is opting to go for 2 racks and 2 factories, so we might be just seeing some Hellion, bio, and tank mix. One tech nab going on the factory, so we will be seeing tanks and maybe eventually Thors. Second gas coming down, and the expansion for Kas is up and running. You can see these Hellions still occupying the map. The Morrow cannot actually move out, and These Hellions make their way in while the Spine Crawlers are burrowed. He will be able to kill a few drones. 2 going down right now. 2 more stuck on the ramp. They are making their way in the main base. Huge blunder by Morrow here. I feel like really just repositioning those Spine Crawlers just cost him a whole lot. If you see in the units lost tab, 18 units lost for our Zerg player Morrow. Of course, his lair tech is up. He is now 1 drone behind, 1 worker behind the Terran player, so huge losses here. Of course, he will drone back up, making 6 right away. Now 8 more drones. He will be repositioning that Spine Crawler again now that he did take care of those Hellions. 1 tank, a few Marines, fortifying the entrance for EmpireKas. Now this pack of Lings now having map control because those Hellions are out. You see the reactor has been switched to a barracks, so now he can pump Marines out quite fast. 1 factory, I thought I saw a second factory earlier, maybe it got cancelled, or maybe it was just the shadow of a factory landing. So I guess one factory making tanks, 2 reactor barracks, and 1 tech lab barracks for those upgrades. So it will be a very standard marine tank build for Kas. During that time, we actually see Morrow getting his Baneling nest. Will get that Baneling speed as soon as that finishes. He is not going for a 3rd base yet. That creep spread is actually pretty good from Morrow or Zerg player. Now 3 queens on the map, combat shields just going up, Baneling speed also. A lot of creep going out for Morrow. Now the marine tank push is coming out. You can see that Morrow has pulled his ahead on the worker count, but he needs an army to deal with this. Now a lot of Banelings morphing in. These 2 Spine Crawlers will burrow in front just to slow down this push. Of course, the tanks and the Marines will have to take these out before actually engaging. Now a lot of Banelings, a lot of Lings here in front, but no speed for the Banelings. Of course, Kas is on creep. That is very dangerous for a Terran player. Zerg can easily surround when you are on creep. He did scan and take out the creep tumors here, so he will wait for that creep to recede and completely disappear before engaging. He is going through the top lane now, passing by the gold, trying to engage. Maybe he suspects a 3rd by now, but little does he know there is no 3rd. Of course, Zergs at this point usually like to take a 3rd, especially when they are going for a macro game. Now that's a lot of Marines and 3 tanks, but I think that Morrow should be able to deal with this if he gets a good flank. These tanks sieging up on the high ground are very vulnerable to all these Lings, and Marines wisely coming back, and I really feel like Morrow will be able to clean this up quite easily. Banelings now has speed, they are hitting the Marines, and everything goes down for Kas, so quite easy of a cleanup from Morrow. A small drop here denied by Morrow. I think the Queen did go down and he stopped mining gas, killed a few drones here. And I do not see any Queens in, so we will go on the units tab. Of course, Kas killed all the Queens, so no Queens for Morrow yet. He will have to rebuild those. You can see him in production. 2 Queens just for that larva inject. So important to get that larva up. A lot of Lings here in front of the base, but another small push, mostly Marines and 3 tanks siege. These are very vulnerable to any Lings that counterattack. You can see a few Lings here could have picked them off. They're quite far away though. And Morrow building more Banelings. He will have to deal with this second push. It is still 2 base against 2 base. You can see Morrow is getting that 3 base and preparing for a Baneling counterattack here. He will try and take out all these SCVs with those. Here they go right in. The tank is not sieged, so he cannot hit those. Huge losses here going. Suffering, Kas is suffering. He lost about 10 SCVs here, and now he is elevating the Marines in the main base with the tanks on the low ground. Very common technique for Terran players. Very micro intensive though. But the Zerg player cannot engage here because of the tanks on the low ground. I feel like he should run away his lings down here and try to pick off the tanks before actually engaging this. This small group of Marines will be able to pick off drones, but they can just run, and I don't think they will pick off the lair. They are target firing, but one more. No, he did not get it. Some mutas are actually attacking one medevac full of Marines actually going down. Now no more Marines, only 4 in the background here. I feel like Morrow should really have picked this off. Now he can freely engage these tanks. I don't know what these mutas are doing. There are only 4 Marines. This is his window of opportunity to pick these off before the reinforcements come. Morrow, what are you doing? You have to pick these off before the reinforcements come. Here he goes, attacking one tank, and now 5 Marines here. They do thwart away the mutas. I really feel like Morrow gave away a small opportunity here. Now reinforcements are coming, 3 more tanks and a whole bunch of Marines. Now Terran player taking the gold base here. Now his incoming is going to go through the roof. He will be able to produce so many Marines so fast. You can actually no extra. Yes, you see 3 more reactor barracks here, so these Marines will be coming out so fast. An armory going down, so we might be seeing tanks, or it might just be for the upgrades. More Marines getting elevated on the high ground, but all the tanks on the low ground destroying those lings. Morrow losing a lot of mutas here, so Morrow is really not in a good position. He is actually behind on the harvester count, and the Terran player has the gold base. His third base not at all saturated, not a single drone building there, so he really needs to deal with this. And I think that Kas is in a great shape here. A few banelings and lings on the ramp. Let's see if they can do. Tanks not siege on the edge of the creep. Very dangerous here. He will siege on the edge. There is a small amount of creep, but not as much as Morrow would like. Still not many mutas out. He did lose quite a few to those Marines, not controlling them as effectively as he could. Now a small group of Marines here will come and try and snipe this hatchery because there's nothing out there. I think he wanted to actually kill a lot of drones here, but no, not a chance. Morrow actually taking out this tank force here with the lings and the mutas while he loses this 3rd hatchery, but the gold still taking those minerals in. You can actually see the income so far ahead from the Terran player. Morrow will be able to clean this up here, but another small Marine and Thor push coming here. Morrow GG's out of there, and quite a convincing win from EmpireKas. Now that the game is over, I can spoil this for you. Attention, everyone who does not want to get spoiled. This was the semifinals of the DailyMotion Cup, and Morrow will actually end up winning this set and going to the finals. He came 2nd in the DailyMotion tournament. I will not be casting the other games as I heard they are not that interesting, but I will be uploading more games. I will be uploading a TVP and another ZvT from Idra. So stay tuned for that, and check out my Team Liquid live stream. I do live commentary on other streams. So thank you for tuning in, and join us next time.